本当？見えないでしょ？どこにいるのかな？全然見えないよ。What's good, internet? It is. I don't know how this goes anymore. I've been on vacation. I've lost the intro. I can only say what's good, internet, but after that,
summon the Anthem of creation and go back and fix this.
Is that what it's supposed to say?
Who the fuck knows how the Anthem of creation works? You're the only one that's read the codex.
I've read the codex.
I read it.
Okay, of course Kato has also read it. That actually adds up. Yeah. I am Austin Walker. Those are the voices of Kato and Patrick. We are here to talk about Anthem. I'm breaking from my break. I'm returning. I'm taking a vacation from my vacation because I have to talk about this video game. Because if I don't, I'm going to lose my mind. How are you two doing today?
Good.
I'm trying to find a javelin. That's my life right now.
Is that your life? You're looking for a javelin? A javelin that fits you?
I found 15 treasure chests. I revived 3 of my fellow robot bros.
Yep.
And what else did I do? I participated in 5 world events.
5 world events,
I executed 3 multi-kills.
50.
Because it turns out mysterious doors in the world of Bastion are super interested in your ability to pull off 3 multi-kills.
Patrick, I want to congratulate you for being the first human I've ever heard to use the name of the world that Anthem takes place in. Bastion.
And
Yeah,
I only
it's a sequel.
I only was able to use it because I just watched a cutscene in which someone referenced trading for the lives of the people of Bastion. I was like, right, that is
Bastion.
Because otherwise, I think you only see it in the loading screen, bits.
It's like a tooltip. Yeah, totally.
I'm not sure. Don't
Okay.
insult tooltips.
It is words on a screen. So I mean, I think as you can tell from listening to us, we are, I would say, mixed at best on Anthem.
Can we start, because it'll be so, and we'll end up.
Yeah.
Can we start with what we like about this game?
Yeah,
first?
Absolutely. Totally.
Because we all have played decent, I've played 15, 16 hours. I think
Yes.
we're all maybe roughly in that 15 to 20 hour range.
Yeah.
Maybe Kato, you're a little bit ahead of us on that.
Yeah. I'm not sure what my hour count is, but I did finish the campaign last night.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I have 14 hours. So yeah, I think we're
I guess
all on that same...
we all really want to like this game. And then, so there, the kind of pseudo review I'm writing is I can't tell how much of what I'm saying I like is me trying to find the path forward on what makes this better. But there are every time I hit left, punch in that left analog stick and shoot into the sky, and I dive into the water, I just go, damn, okay. I can see where 4 years ago they sat around a prototype and went yeah, all right, we could build a game around this.
This could be a whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
I love flying. I love the feeling of those exosuits. I put some time into Daemon X Machina over the break also, or my break, not the break. The new mech game coming out this year on Switch. There was a demo for it, and it was really hard to go to that after playing a lot of Anthem, because Anthem's setup of so I guess if you've never seen coverage for it, you don't know what the fuck we're talking about. It is a game in which you play, you fly around and fight enemies in sort of Iron Man style exosuits, a little bit bigger than Iron Man. It's like Iron Man plus another couple of feet, basically. And depending on what I'm the class that I play is Iron Man in the Hulkbuster, right? It's big and bulky, and some of them are really kind of lithe and quick and agile. And whenever you hit the left trigger with the left thumbstick in, you go into a flight mode, and whenever you go in, if you hit the right thumbstick in, you kind of hover, and that stuff just feels so good, and it is enough to make me want to continue playing this game. Not indefinitely, certainly, but I'm gonna try to finish it out because I do just genuinely like that stuff enough. On the list of things that I like, I think it's an okay action game. I think it's held back by some really tough problems that they need to fix. In general, when I was playing this game on normal, nothing lived long enough for any fight to be interesting outside of me wanting to fly around in fun circles.
Well, I feel like there was never more underscored than okay, you're playing the Hulkbuster class, the Colossus, in which you're it's all about you have this big shield. You can't dash on the ground. You can fly, but you can't dash on the ground because you're supposed to like put up your shield, like you're a tank of sorts. And that's on the one end, right? And then it like kind of goes across an arc of classes. There's the there's the Storm, which is like an elemental base that is doing a lot of like we can get into how
it's like Storm, the X-Men character.
Yeah, and you're casting like fire and ice and lightning, and those things are built into the combo system, so you can set up like big damage with the other mechs. And then there is the Ranger, which is like the like normal Iron Man type that most people are probably familiar with because it's what you have to start with in the tutorial. And then there's the Interceptor, which is like the model of it looks like the Marvel's like Wasp character. Like it's very insect-like because it's supposed to be like it just moves around really fast.
Lots of cool flips and shit.
Yeah, you can like hold the dash button and string together 3 dashes at once, and so it both extends like your flight path, and also like it's a class where you're just trying to get in and get out. But so I've been playing the Interceptor because like, oh, that's different than what I normally play, like a light armor, like get in, get out. Like I'll just try something different for my like main playthrough, and then I can try some other stuff later. Well, the normal mode, I never was in any danger of ever dying, and so the consequence of that was I was never really thinking about how to spec my character. And by spec, I mean like the certain abilities that I'm like putting on, like thinking like what is the actual role of this a character in like a fight, because the game never asks me to do that. But then when we all started playing together earlier this week, in which Austin, you noted like, hey, put it on hard, it'll at least make some fights like you'll have to at least think about your cooldowns and stuff like that. Like you just have to start thinking about a little bit about your abilities and how they play with one another. But then when we played a Stormhold, which is sort of like the closest equivalent to a raid in this.
Is that not a stronghold?
Stronghold.
Okay.
Stronghold.
Okay.
Right.
And more
the closest.
More like if we're using the Destiny analogy, it's like a strike. It's like bigger than a regular mission, smaller than whatever. They have something called a cataclysm that people are assuming is going to be what the raid. They haven't said.
Yeah.
They haven't said raid, the word raid yet, but it's
it's a bunch of like concentrated fights that ends with like a boss, and you are supposed to get like more loot out of it than the normal. And so we got
trash loot out of that though.
Anyway. We did not get good loot. Yeah, we got better loot out of a random side mission that we did when it was like, you guys just want to do one more thing before we go to bed. And we got like 9,000 drops on that one. But
weird.
I came into that stronghold and I got my just ass handed to me, where I was just getting one-shotted by all sorts of things. I had not like I had not picked the right skills to, as I came to later learn, is like when you get into those high level fights, basically my class turns into you deal with mobs and then you run support to do like bringing resistance down on like high level bosses. Like you're just not meant to like get in there in the mix. You're supposed to like sit out in the back, go heal someone, go back out. But like none of that is trained by the game before that. And it was just like I just felt like every 30 seconds going like, guys, I'm dead again. Yep.
Patrick's giving himself a hard time. And
at some point, I stopped telling people I was dead because I was embarrassed that I had died again.
And we would come pick you up anyways because they're like, come on, you have to play the game. But what's wild is that I played the last mission last night, and there was an interceptor in there, and I've seen now since I've seen a few videos about builds and stuff. There are builds that you can do eventually where you make the interceptor like gain, like you heal back on kills and also sometimes on certain hits. So you become just this melee whirlwind that is always in the fray instead. And like if there aren't, it's more dangerous to be at range and getting shot by things than to be up close. Right. And like here's like one of the. Well, we were talking about things we liked, but I was gonna say one of the failings of
it's impossible to talk. Yeah. And like the only reason I was using that framing was like because it's so easy to just like dive into the deep end on the things that it does wrong. Just trying to remember like we the three of us have not only played this out of an obligation that we need to talk about Anthem. Like there has been sort of like there's a there's something we're scratching at here that we're trying to figure out why it is that we want to stick with it.
But like, yeah, one of the failings that I think is like there's a lot of really interesting things like that you won't hit until past the campaign, past the point where a lot of people will have dropped off from the game because the early stuff is not as diverse. Like you start getting hints of it. And like, because I personally have come from things like Destiny and like other games where I know there's an end game and the end game is where like the interesting stuff is, I know the small hints I know that I'm getting now, like I understand how that will extrapolate into more interesting things later. Right. And that's kind of carried me through and like, okay, like right now I'm only getting 2 of these like bonuses per thing that like there's like each weapon, each ability, and each like there's these things called components that are just basically like extra perks.
They're like passive buffs that like, oh, your reload time on assault rifles is lower, or you have way more shields, or your flight time is higher,
right.
Whatever.
And all of those have 2 additional perks, or it depends on the rarity. Like at blue, you have 2 additional perks on there. And you start seeing